Welcome, guys, back to week 3 of the NFL Game Picks. And if you're watching from NFL Game Picker, welcome. We are partnering with NFL Game Picker. They will be featuring our video on their channel, on their website, and they will include our thoughts on each and every game, so you can check that out. And without further ado, let's get into our scores. Not even our scores, our records from last week. Last week I went 11-5. Overall, went to 19-13 on the season. How about you guys?
Yeah, I went a whopping 14-2, which, in case everybody does not know, that was first out of everybody. And that puts me at 24-8 on the season. And just a little side note on my upsets of the week, I am now 2-0 in, picking the Washington football team week 1 and the Las Vegas Raiders week 2. So, not saying, but I'm saying, you want to put some money down on an upset, you might listen to me.
Yeah, bro, I'm 13-3 last week, 23-9 on the season. Not terrible. I'm tied with Eddie right now in second, looking to come for Bryce.
Yeah, I'm win 13-3 for the week. Overall 23-9, only a game behind Bryce, so hopefully passing this week.
Yeah, I definitely have some catching up to do with not only the records and stuff like that, but definitely when it comes to what happened this week, because I was out of town and I did not watch a single second of Sunday football, and that's like a first for me in 7 years of watching football. Never has happened. It was unfortunate. I was out of town, had no chance of watching. I really wanted to watch the Dolphins game. I could have watched the Steelers and other games and stuff like that, but because of where I was at. But it was unfortunate. But what do you guys take away from this week? I know there was a lot of injuries, big-time injuries. So the floor is open to whoever wants to speak on that.
Yeah, it was just it was shocking. But, again, it's just a lot of non-contact injuries, a lot of those ACL injuries. Your knee buckles a funny way. And I think a lot of the big major injuries we expected week 1 really happened week 2, as week 1 was more so lingering injuries. But, that's the NFL. Injuries can happen at any given time. And it reminds me of, I believe it was 2015, when it was like Jordy Nelson, Jamal Charles, and Le'Veon Bell all went out with like torn ACLs the same week, because I believe I had 2 of them on my fantasy team that year. Some years are just like that. You never love to see injuries, but then again, it is part of the game, and the NFL is a next man up league. So, as we've seen in the past, players got to step up. Sometimes it gives players a new time to shine. So, and for them to get their chance.
Yeah, lots of injuries, couple upsets out there this week. Raiders beat the Saints. That was pretty surprising. That Cowboys comeback was pretty impressive. It was a good week, too, despite all the injuries.
Yeah, definitely the injuries. You got teams like San Francisco don't even want to play at MetLife because they're scared of the conditions there. And the rookies, I thought Burrow and Herbert, they both looked really good this week.
Well, me being the Dolphins fan I saw this funny tweet, and it was like talking about Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert being like for a couple guys starting this week and stuff like that, and they're like the best quarterback in the draft hasn't even played yet. So I found that funny as a biased Dolphins fan. And speaking of the Dolphins, we're gonna get right into the Dolphins, starting off their week, Thursday night football in Jacksonville, Miami Dolphins versus Jacksonville Jaguars. And you already know who I'm rocking with. I'm rocking with the Dolphins, as you're not can tell back there, and they're gonna win 26-17. We're doing game pick scores for this one. Let's get to Bryce on this one, since he's AFC South guy.
Yeah, I got the Jaguars winning this one. I just feel like offensively they're a lot better than the Miami Dolphins. Minshew mania is real. As a Titans fan, trust me, I saw it firsthand last week. Our defense played poorly, but Minshew mania is real. James Robinson, the running back who went undrafted, had a very good week, over 100 rushing yards. Look for him to have another good week. And just with Byron Jones being hurt, I was not impressed with the Dolphins' defense Sunday against a very stout Bills offense. And I know the Jaguars isn't the Bills' offense, but they're still a very good offense. And so I got the Jaguars winning. I'm gonna say 28-21. I think it'll be a 7-point game. Fitzmagic, I think, will throw a couple picks because the Jaguars' defense is not terrible. They got a little bit of pass rush, but I'm rolling with the Jaguars 28-21.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags as well on this one. I do like Minshew so far. I think Jacksonville has some young wide receivers. I'm not sold on the Dolphins right now. I think they're still a season or two away from being decent. So I'm going to take the Jags winning 30-24.
I'm gonna roll with the Dolphins, even though their defense looked terrible for the second straight week. I think they get everything back together. I think they have a big game from Fitz. I don't think the Jaguars' offense has any weapons as good as Stephon Diggs was for the Bills. So I got the Dolphins winning this one 24-20 and first one of the year.
Yeah, cheers to that, Eddie, right? But definitely, if this was the old Jacksonville Jaguars with Blake Bortles and all that stuff, they would have torched the Dolphins defense because all they do is run crossers and slants and drags and stuff like that. And that's exactly what the Bills pretty much did to destroy the secondary. And but that's all I was able to catch on because I haven't seen the entire game. But for most of the first half, that's what I saw from last week's Dolphins game. Now, let's take it to the first Sunday game. We have the Chicago Bears at the Atlanta Falcons. I understood Atlanta just choked completely last week. And I don't know too much about the Bears, what happened with them, but that's what I know from the Falcons. So with that being said, I'm going with the Falcons on this one. I expect them to really hone in on locking in on this game because being up 20 points in the first quarter and losing the game is profound upon and unheard of,
Yeah, I'm going to roll with my Bears. We're going to bear down this Sunday. I liked the first half of the Bears on Sunday. Trubisky actually looked pretty good. Second half, he came out and threw, I think, like a whopping 11 yards and 2 picks. So that's a problem, but I think the Falcons, after this blown lead, is going to really just derail this team, and hopefully our defense comes out and dominates.
Yeah, I got the Falcons winning at home. I just feel like after that blown loss, they're going to come back with a different attitude. I do think Dan Quinn will eventually be fired midseason. I picked Trubisky up late last week, a minute before my game started, played him over to Deshaun Watson, and they ended up getting about the same amount of fantasy points for my team. But I just was not impressed what Trubisky did in the second half against a very mediocre and maybe below mediocre Giants defense. Had a great first half, couldn't capitalize. Falcons defense about the same. I just feel like as a team, they got to come back this week, and so that's why I'm rolling with the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Falcons too. I think their division's been off to a choppy start. I think everybody's still in it. I think they need their first win, and their offense hasn't been looking bad so far. They completely fell apart again. I mean, they're used to blowing leads, but I'm going to roll with the Falcons. I don't think the Bears offense has enough.
Yeah, you should have thrown in the 28-3 joke in there, Eddie, honestly. But next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going Philly here. Both teams are 0-2. I've loved what I've seen from Joe Burrow. He's had close games for both of his starts, so it could have gone either way. But I can't go against Carson Wentz. I think he's way too good of a quarterback in the sense of just like not being able to go down. And, he does find the right guys. You just got to give him the chance. So I'm just going with the Eagles on this one.
I'm going to go opposite of you on this one, Austin. I'm going to go with Cincy. I really like what I'm seeing from Burrow. Philly is trending in the wrong direction, I think. They're 2-0-2 teams, so one of them is going to get their first win of the year. It's about who wants it more. And I think Burrow wants that first win more than Wentz does.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Bengals here also. I just have not liked what I've seen from the Philadelphia Eagles ever since the first half of week 1 against the Washington football team. Their defense has looked subpar. Their offensive line has not been very good. And Carson Wentz, who was sacked 8 times against the Washington football team, was sacked 0 times against the Rams, I believe, and still was not able to get it done and threw 2 picks. So for that reason, I'm going with the Bengals on the road. I feel like they're just a team coming off a close loss, a game they feel like they should have won. They're going to go in there. Joe Burrow is coming out with a W.
I want to take the Bengals on this one, but I'm going to roll with Philly. I think they just come out and they have one of those games that, I don't know, Wentz is due for a game, I think. And I really want to pick Cincinnati, but I do think that Wentz is gonna lead them to the first win.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Eddie. Joe Burrow is pretty much fed up with losing. I mean, he said he barely lost in high school, barely lost in college. And, it's tough for a lot of these younger guys when they come into the NFL and they experience pretty much losing probably for the first time in their, semi-professional careers, So it is what it is. But I was on the fence on either Cincinnati or Philly, but I think just Philly edges it out just by like a point or two, So next game we have is the Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was in contention to be one of the game scorer ones for this week, but ultimately went with other ones. But this is a good game. This is a very good match. Even though Houston's 0-2, they've had a tough start to the season. And surprise, Pittsburgh is 2-0. Big Ben's back, and they're looking sensational. Who they played last week? I think they played you guys can jump in if you want real quick on that one. They played –
Texans played the Ravens, and then the Steelers played the Broncos.
Yeah. So they played the Broncos, and, I mean, it was whatever. But I saw some of the highlights. Chase Claypool was looking great, which is one of their rookies for the Steelers. And Big Ben just has a lot of receivers. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. He has a ton of receivers to throw the ball to and spread it out. So that offense is going to be great for at least this season. Let's see how Big Ben ages. But I'm going with the Steelers on this one. Tough start for the Texans season. Lots of bad matchups for them.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Steelers at home. I just feel like the Texans have not been able to gain any momentum these first 2 weeks, and I do not think they'll be able to gain any momentum here. I'll keep it short and sweet. Steelers top 5 defense. Texans no D-Hop. Big Ben's looking good. Steelers win probably by a touchdown. I don't know what the spread is, but they should cover easily.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers as well. I took Houston at first. I really want Deshaun Watson to get his first win, but I switched it yesterday to the Steelers. I think Steelers have a more complete team. That defense is scary good. Big Ben looks like he's coming back healthy with a bunch of wide receivers. Pittsburgh somehow managed to get a top 5 wide receiver in the draft in the second round, I think. So I'm taking Steelers in this one.
I'm going to roll with the Texans. I think they just had a really bad first 2 weeks between the Chiefs and the Ravens. And Pittsburgh, they haven't played the best teams. I think they played the Broncos and the Giants. So I think Houston comes out in this one with more of a sense of urgency, and I think they win a close game. But I'm going to take Houston.
Yeah, if Houston wants to win this game, they have to pull out all the stops. But it's going to be tough against an offense that looks like it's firing all cylinders, at least with the throwing passing game, and then a defense that's probably one of the best in the league. So it's going to be very tough for the Texans to get the win here. That's a lot of the stuff that's going against them for me. Now when we go to the next game, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo beat Miami last week, and the Rams beat the Eagles last week. And, I mean, both of these teams are looking pretty good. I didn't see too much of the Rams, obviously. I saw a lot of the Bills from what I was watching of last week's game. But I'm going with the Bills. I just think their defense could put a stop to the Rams' offense a little bit better than most teams could.
Yeah, this is probably the toughest pick of the week for me. I really love this Rams team, but they're on the road 2 straight weeks. The Bills look sus. I mean, they did not look great against the Dolphins, who are arguably a bottom 5 team right now. I know you Dolphins fans don't want to hear that. I think it could change with Tua, but as much as it scares me, I'm going to take the Rams on the road. I think Jared Goff, the way they have looked this season, not having Todd Gurley, they're not forced to feed guys like Brandon Cooks and Gurley. So I like the Rams. They spread the ball out a lot. They just run the right plays, and their defense has been playing better. So I'm going to roll with the Rams on the road in this one.
I'm going to take the Bills. I think they definitely have played 2 terrible teams to start off the year, and they've looked decent. I think this is going to be a real test. It's a toss-up, but I got the Bills winning this one in a close game.
I think both these quarterbacks are early season MVP favorites, but I'm going to take Buffalo in this one. What I saw from Josh Allen last week, he looks like he's improved a lot. His touch looks a lot better this year. They were without 2 of their starting linebackers on defense, and they still ended up beating the Dolphins. I do like what I see from this Rams team and Jared Goff, but I'm going to take Buffalo on this one.
Yeah, the linebackers missing for the Bills definitely helped out the Dolphins last week, and Mike Gesicki had a huge game. Myles Gaskin had a decent game as well. And even though that was the case, they still couldn't pull off the win, and Buffalo held up. And, that Josh Allen to John Brown TD at the end of the game, that's when I turned it off. And I was like, I can't listen to this anymore because I can't even see it, so I don't even want to hear that. But next we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the New England Patriots. And Raiders are 2-0. Patriots are 1-1. Patriots played the Seahawks last week, and the Raiders played the Saints last week. And man, I was in Las Vegas for the most part of my trip, and there were so many Saints fans there, which was amazing. And kudos to the Raiders fans too. There was a bunch of Raiders fans walking around wearing Raiders gear and stuff like that. So you can definitely felt the energy was somewhat there, at least in the city. There was no fans at the game. So even though the Raiders are 2-0, Patriots are at home, and there's something about Foxborough that the Patriots are just so magical there. I don't even know. So I'm going with the Patriots on this one. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Raiders on the road. I think this game does not fare well for the Patriots. I feel like, especially after Sunday night, the Patriots showed that they are not a team. Well, they impressed me some with their ability to hang with the Seahawks, but if they get in a shootout, I just feel like they're at a disadvantage with their offense, although Cam did throw the ball really well Sunday night. I just feel like both defenses are going to give up a lot of points, and I just feel like the way the Raiders' offense has been playing over the last couple of weeks, if their defense can get them a couple of stops, I really like this Raiders team this year. So I got the Raiders winning, going 3-0, Patriots going to 1-2.
I like this defense matchup and the quarterback matchup in this one. So I think it's going to come down to if Derek Carr can outplay Cam. But I think he will, and I have the Raiders winning.
I'm going to take New England on this one. They were about 3 yards away from going 2-0 on the year, and I don't like to go against Belichick. I've done it way too many times as a Dolphins fan, so I'm going to take New England on this one.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, Eddie. But to all you guys' points about the Raiders, I agree. The Raiders are looking good, and they're finally getting their stride with, especially John Gruden as their head coach. So they're finally gelling together as a team. I mean, there's a lot of picks that have been acquired throughout the past couple of years, so they're finally getting their feet under them, and it's showing on the field. So that's great for the Raiders, but I just don't think they edge out the Patriots at home this week. Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the New York Giants, and San Francisco 49ers are injured as heck, man. Like, they are defensive line screwed, running back is hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt as well. That's what I know. And then same thing for the Giants. Their bell cow of Saquon Barkley tore his ACL. So it's going to be very tough. But they did sign Devontae Freeman. Hopefully he's in shape and he could get some good reps. But it's going to be tough for the Giants. But even then, I'm picking the Giants because of so many injuries for the 49ers, honestly.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, and that's why I picked this as my upset of the week, although it might not feel like an upset. But I second that opinion. I mean, I think the 49ers are too injured. They've been in New York since, I believe, last Saturday. They played the Jets, and they stayed in New York all week to face the Giants. They were complaining about the turf. Jimmy G's not at 100%. It looks like Jarrett McKinnon's going to be basically the only running back there. And then this defense is so depleted. Sherman's been out. Then you have Bosa, Solomon Thomas, a lot of other guys out on that defense. So I think not having Saquon could possibly benefit the Giants. I know it sucks to lose him, but now with Daniel Jones, you can just say we're going to spread it out and sling it and see what he's made of. And I think he could fare well with that type of system around him. So I got the Giants. I think it'll be a close game, but I have the Giants winning.
I'm going to stay with San Fran, even though their whole team seems to be injured right now. I just think without Saquon, the Giants are even worse. And I'm not sure who's going to start at quarterback for San Francisco, if it's going to be Jimmy G and if he's going to try to tough it out, or I think their backup is Nick Mullins. So we'll see. But I'm still going to ride with San Francisco. I think they get it done.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with San Fran. I think they lean heavy on the run game still, even whether it's Jimmy G or Mullins starting. New York's another team that's banged up too. I know they got Sterling Shepard. I think he got played this week. I think just a slugfest. It's going to be a lot of run game. I'm going to roll with San Fran on this one.
Yeah. If Nick Mullins does start, I mean, he had some time, especially when Jimmy G went down with his ACL injury the other year. And but I don't know. I just can't take all those injuries and not put them into account that the Giants may not win this game because they're 0-2. They're starving for a win, so they're going to have to get a win at some point, And then next we have Bryce's favorite team, the Tennessee Titans at the Minnesota Vikings. And what jersey are you repping right now? Is that of A.J. Brown? Nice. And so I was gonna go with the Vikings because they must be itching and clawing for a win, but I mean the Titans are too good right now, so I'm going with the Titans on this one. Let's go to Bryce.
Yeah, our defense played like absolute crap Sunday. Corners couldn't guard, above average to barely above average receivers in Jacksonville. So I hope our defense can play a lot better against Kirk Cousins this week. But I got the Titans winning just because I feel like that the Vikings defense is too depleted. I believe it was Anthony Barr who's out for the year. Danielle Hunter will not be in this game. And then so I just feel like defensively they're not having their star players and basically having rookies playing corners. I feel like that even though we probably won't have A.J. Brown, our wide receivers still should eat, and Jonnu Smith should eat. So I just feel like defensively the Vikings won't be able to hold us, and I think our defense will be able to get to Kirk Cousins and force him to make some bad throws. And I just was not impressed with the Vikings and how they played the Colts Sunday at all. I don't believe Kirk Cousins had over 100 yards or a 50% completion percentage, and I think he threw 3 interceptions too. So, the Vikings are proving me wrong. They are not a great football team, so I like the Titans on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Titans as well. Minnesota looked terrible against a beaten-up Indiana team. I think they gave up 100 yards to Jonathan Taylor, so I expect Derrick Henry to run all over them. I mean, Cousins looked terrible for Minnesota. I know he says if he dies, he dies. At the start of the season, well, it looks like he's digging his grave right now because he's playing awful. So we'll see if he even ends up as the starting quarterback by the end of the year. We'll see. But, I'm going with Titans.
I picked Minnesota the first 2 weeks, and they've given me 2 L's. So I'm going to pick the Titans. I just think the Titans, run all over them. I'm not picking Minnesota again anymore, so I'm going to roll with the Titans.
The quick switch up, Eddie. No, that was hilarious. I mean, I'll show it in the video. You guys had us dying with that comment about Kirk Cousins. But going with the Titans, just like most of you guys. I think we all picked the Titans on this one. And next, we have the Washington football team at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland got a win on Thursday. That's the only game I really was able to watch. And I don't know what happened with the Washington football team, but they lost last week. But I'm going with the Browns. They looked a lot better against the Bengals last week. They were able to bounce back from playing one of the best teams in the NFL, the Ravens. And it was very tough for them, but they played a decent Bengals team. But it was a close game at the end. They started coming back, and it was interesting to see. But I'm going with the Browns. I just think they're a little bit ahead of the Washington football team at this time.
Yeah. Other than possibly Panthers, Chargers, in my professional opinion, this may be one of the most uninteresting games of the week. I think Cleveland gets the win, but I don't think it's by a lot on that Washington defense. So I think it'll be a close game. I think they get after Baker. He makes some bad throws, but I do think Cleveland pulls it out just barely, maybe by a field goal.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cleveland as well, although I'm not high on either one of these teams. Baker Mayfield looked okay against the Bengals, but I think this defense might be a little bit better. They might get after him a little bit more. I am going to go with Baker. I think they have more to prove. And Washington, under Ron Rivera, unfortunately, isn't looking great so far.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cleveland. This game doesn't excite me at all. I don't think Baker beats Washington with his arm. I just think between Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, they just run, or they'll try to run all over Washington. But I'm going to take Cleveland on this one.
All right, all good picks there, all good picks. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers at the Los Angeles Chargers. And Justin Herbert, as you guys told me, started his first game last week. And he looked good. He looked good from what you guys have told me, but they didn't get the win. And the Panthers are 0-2. And the Panthers had a tough game against the Raiders week 1, and I'm not sure about week 2. Obviously, I wasn't too much in the loop. But I'm just going with the Chargers. I mean, you guys convinced me on how Justin Herbert had a good game. And so I'm just going with the Chargers and seeing what they can do with Justin Herbert possibly starting again this week.
Yeah, I'm not for sure who's going to start at quarterback. Hopefully Tyrod Taylor's okay, and if he is okay, they said that they would be playing him. But regardless of the quarterbacks, I think the Carolina Panthers get the win. A lot like the Giants, the Panthers are without Christian McCaffrey. It's not for the whole season, just a few weeks. But I think Teddy Bridgewater starts spreading the ball out, and he'll make some short, quick throws. And I think they can go on the road and beat this Chargers team. If I knew who was playing quarterback, I'd feel a lot more confident in my pick. But I'm just going to roll with the Panthers just because of that not knowing over the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go opposite of you. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think Herbert, he had an impressive first start. I actually watched the game. He looked really good. I think he threw for like 315 yards or so. I don't think McCaffrey's gonna play, and that's like 95% of their offense for the Panthers. So without him, I think they're gonna struggle. I don't think Tyrod Taylor has what it takes to beat that Chargers defense on his own. So I'm going with the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers too. I think whether it's Taylor or Herbert, they beat Carolina. Carolina missing McCaffrey is going to be huge because that's a huge part in everything they do. I thought Herbert looked really good. If they weren't playing the Chiefs, I think any other team they squeezed by with a W last week. So I'm going to take with the Chargers.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, imagine being a rookie and playing one of the best, arguably best team in the league right now. So that must have been tough for Herbert. But let's go to the next game. We have the New York Giants at the Indianapolis Colts. Jets 0-2, Colts 1-1. And I'm going with the Colts. I just like what I see from the Colts overall. Compared to the Jets are probably going to be one of the worst teams in football this year. And I keep on saying that, and I'm going to keep on saying that until they get a win. And that's just my hatred for the Jets. But it is true. I mean, they're looking really bad, honestly. What do you guys think?
Jets are the worst team in football, and if Adam Gase is not fired by week 6, as Jets fans, I would riot. I mean, if you lose this game, I might would riot then anyways. Said there's a clip of Sam Darnold on Twitter rolling out and just absolutely airing out a dot to one of his receivers, and it looked like a Patrick Mahomes type play. I'm not a huge fan of Darnold, but he had one good play, not going to overreact to it. Colts win this game easy. They dominated the Vikings, who are a better team than the Jets, so they should dominate this game easy. Colts by 40 for all I care.
All right, I'm going Colts. I think it's the biggest spread of the week, which is surprising. I know the Jets are awful, but I don't think the Colts are that much better. But I am going Colts. I think Adam Gase should have been fired a while ago, and I'm surprised he's still sitting there. So I think after an 0-3 start, they finally get rid of him. But I'm going Colts.
Honestly, I hope Adam Gase stays with the Jets for a long time. I like the Jets being bad. But I'm going to roll with the Jets here. I don't know why. I have a gut feeling that they do something this week. Indianapolis, I guess, tends to play down to their level of competition. And for some weird reason, I'm going to take the Jets.
Eddie pulling in with the surprise here. Yeah, I kind of get what you're getting at because, I mean, they played probably the Jags that were probably one of the worst teams to be expected this season, and they lost to them. But that was week 1, so I'll kind of discredit it. But it is what it is. Next, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks, and we're doing scores for this one. I want you guys go in on it first before I say anything, so whoever wants to speak on it, the floor is open.
Yeah, I'll hit it up first. I like the Seahawks in this one. I did not like what I saw from the Cowboys. I think it was more of a Falcons choke job, just like in the Super Bowl, than it was a Cowboys victory, although Dak Prescott did technically lead the comeback. It was more so a Falcons choke job. So I'm rolling with the Seahawks this one, and I got the score 31-17. I just feel like against this Seahawks team, against the Falcons, you can get down 20 points. Against the Seahawks team, you're not going to get down 20 points and come away with a victory, especially on the road. So I think the Seahawks are able to contain this Cowboys offense, although they didn't do a great job of it Sunday night against Cam. But I like the Seahawks in this one again, 31-17.
Yeah, I'm going Seahawks as well. I think Russ is the MVP so far. So I have the Seahawks winning 31-21. I do agree with you, Bryce. I think the Cowboys Falcons game was more of a Falcons choke than a Cowboys win, although that onside kick was pretty beautiful to watch. But yeah, you're not coming back against Russell Wilson in that run game. So I have Seahawks winning 31-21.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks winning this one 34-24. I just think their defense doesn't let the Cowboys put up. I think the Cowboys put up 40 last week. And I think they contain Dak for the most part. They're going to rely heavy on the run game. And, yeah, I just like Seattle overall. I think Russell Wilson's been great so far.
Yeah, I've been telling a lot of people I've been talking to that Russell Wilson's going to be on an MVP caliber type of year. He's a real deal. I mean, the fact that he hasn't won an MVP yet is quite shocking. But, maybe this is a year. So we'll see. But I'm going with the Seahawks, like I think all of us are. And Cowboys 21, Seahawks 27. I just don't think the Cowboys will be able to really just keep up with the Seahawks. Like, the Seahawks running game is going to be really good. Obviously, great quarterback in Russell Wilson. And like you guys mentioned, the choke job by the Falcons is more credited for the Dallas Cowboys winning than them actually willing themselves to win. Next, we have the Detroit Lions at the Arizona Cardinals. Almost said Falcons. Lions are 0-2, and the Cardinals are 2-0. They beat the reigning NFC champions week 1, and they got another win last week. So they're off to a good start in a very competitive NFC West. What are your guys' thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I like the Cardinals at home. The Lions blew the game against the Bears week 1. And then went up against a far superior team in the Packers week 2. I definitely think this Lions team is better than an 0-2 team at this point. But I just think that the Cardinals offense with DeAndre Hopkins is just too powerful. And this Lions defense has not been able to stop virtually anybody. I mean, they couldn't even stop Mitch Trubisky, so made him look like an MVP. So, I think Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are going to feast. Cardinals should win by a score or 2. But, yeah, I like the Cardinals at home.
Yeah, Cardinals have been looking good. Murray is playing awesome. Hopkins is great. I don't think the Lions should be 0-2. They're definitely better than what the record says. I'm going with Detroit in this one. I think Stafford gets his number 1 wide receiver back in Galladay. Hopefully he plays and plays well. And I'm going with the upset.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Arizona. I think Kyler Murray through the first 2 weeks has looked outstanding. He's been a great dual-threat quarterback for them, and adding DeAndre Hopkins was huge for them. And I think Detroit is better than 0-2, but I think a bad matchup for them. I think Arizona gets this win.
Yeah, I agree with all of you guys. I had Arizona picked already, but I was going to see if anyone can sway me to pick the Lions. But, yeah, I agree with what Bryce said about the Lions. They're better than an 0-2 team, though, what they look like. But they've had bad luck. They played the good Packers, and then they just played down to the Bears. They had the game locked up, basically. So I'm going with the Cardinals. And let's take it to the next game. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Denver Broncos. And it's Tommy time in Tampa Bay, and they finally won the game last week. And the Broncos are 0-2. Tough games against the Titans and the Steelers, so very good defenses. And Drew Lock goes down, so it's not looking good for the Broncos so far. And so I'm obviously going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Bucs in this one. No Drew Lock, no Cortland Sutton. Jerry Jeudy's the number 1 receiver, and he took a few shots Sunday against the Bears. Actually left the game with a rib injury. Devin Bush hit-sticked him over the middle, and so, he's going to be a little banged up. It's Jeff Driscoll and Blake Bortles are the QBs now in Denver. So, definitely rolling with the Bucs on this one. Tom Brady's starting to look kind of in form. It's another week of practice for them to get in sync and get on the same page. So, I like the Bucs in this one, even on the road. Honestly, probably a little bit big, maybe a touchdown, maybe 10 points. But, I'm going to roll with the Bucs.
All right, so I wish this game was in Tampa because we have 2 hometown heroes playing for the Broncos, and Jeff Driscoll and Blake Bortles. Broncos have the pickup of the year in Blake Bortles. Yes, Blake Bortles will be the starting quarterback of the future for the Broncos. But unfortunately, he's not going to have enough reps, and the Bucs get an easy win in the Mile High Stadium over there. But look for Blake to make a big splash in week 4 or 5.
It is a great QB matchup between Tom Brady and Jeff Driscoll, so I'm going to roll with the Bucs here. I mean, I don't think that much more needs to be said. Tom Brady or Jeff Driscoll, and Tampa Bay looked like they were getting everything back together in week 2 against a pretty good Carolina team, so I'm going to roll with Tampa Bay here.
Yeah, definitely. Don't want to discredit Denver, but it's just a lot of injuries that really set them back. And, they pick up the boat. They pick up Blake Bortles, one of Christopher's guys. That's his boy. And so with that being said, let's get into Sunday Night Football. We have the Green Bay Packers against the New Orleans Saints. Saints 1-1. They took a loss to the Raiders last week, and the Packers are 2-0. So, I mean, you weren't expecting the Saints to be 1-1 this week, but you're expecting the Packers to be 2-0. They have very good offense with Aaron Rodgers. What are your guys' thoughts? And we're also doing scores for this one.
Yeah, I rightfully picked the Raiders to beat the Saints Monday night. Drew Brees looked old. Simple as that. They showed us that he had not thrown the ball over 15 or 20 yards down the field the whole game. Not having Michael Thomas, who's the best receiver within 10 yards in the league. So not having him to throw the ball to. It's a lot of check downs, dinks and dunks passes. I like Green Bay here. The Saints defense did not look great against the Raiders offense. Against the Raiders offense. So Aaron Rodgers is going to shred that defense up. I like the Packers here. Honestly, 38-20. I think the Packers roll out of here with a big win. I believe that the Smith brothers will get a little bit of pressure on Breeze and the Packers will try to make him throw the ball down the field. And they're just going to give him that short 3-4 yard passes all day long. I like the Packers 38-20.
All right, yeah, I'm going with the Packers as well. I have them 38-31 winning this one. It is in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but I don't think without fans it really much matters anymore. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to pass all over the Saints defense. I mean, if Derek Carr can do it, he definitely will. I'm not sure if Michael Thomas is going to play. But I do like the battle between him and Devontae Adams. I know they're both banged up, but I am going Packers this one. Hurts to say it, but I'm going Packers.
I'm going to roll with the Saints. I mean, Father Time's undefeated, and Drew Brees definitely looked it. They're missing Michael Thomas, which is huge. I mean, he's no Devontae Parker, but I don't know. I like this game. I think it's going to be really close. I think the Saints win by a field goal, but I don't want to bet against Aaron Rodgers, but I think Drew Brees has a bounce-back week, especially, I guess, playing at home. And their defense, it looked bad last week. I think it's due for a bounce-back too.
Yeah, I totally agree with almost everything you just said. I don't want to bet against Aaron Rodgers, but I just might have to. And Drew Brees didn't look like himself, like you guys said, and Mike Thomas went out with an injury. So it's a lot that goes against the Saints. But even then, I think their defense is a little bit better than the Packers' defense, and that's what's making me decide on the Saints. And so I'm picking the Saints, and I have them winning 24-28. So Packers 24, Saints 28. And it's going to be interesting. It could go either way. This game is going to be a tough one to choose from for anyone. So good luck to that for those of you watching on NFL Game Picker. And let's get to the last game of the week. We have Monday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens. We should have seen this matchup in the AFC Championship last year, but Bryce's team shut it down. There we go, Bryce, head nod. And I love the little that I had to go with the Green Bay Packers, and from a guy all bared out right now, which was very funny. But let's get back to the game. We have the Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens, and this is going to be great primetime football. Honestly, I'm going to love watching these two teams face each other for the next couple of years because it's going to be great. But that being said, I'm going with the Chiefs, and I have them winning 35-30. It's going to be a very high-scoring game. Defense is not going to be present because these two quarterbacks are studs. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so we jumped from the old, almost washed-up quarterbacks, washed up now, Drew Brees and almost in Aaron Rodgers, to the young MVPs and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, who, Lamar was MVP last year, Patty Mahomes 2 years ago. I'm going Chiefs, 28-27, 1-point game. I just think the Chiefs, they had a bad week against the Chargers, or bad first half. They came back and showed how explosive they are. That doesn't matter how much they're down, they can always come back. And honestly, I wasn't too impressed with the Ravens against the Texans Sunday. It was against a subpar Texans defense. They were able to run the ball, but Lamar didn't really throw the ball a whole lot. So if the Chiefs force him to throw the ball, I think that's their best chance to win, to gang up and stop him on the run. So, if they force Lamar to throw the ball, I like that. But these are the two best offenses in the NFL. Titans are there close third, by the way. But, yeah, I think the Chiefs win 28-27 on the road.
I'm going Ravens. I'm going to be the odd man out, I think, here. I got the Ravens winning 33-27. This is going to be a great game. Probably the two best teams in the NFL, two MVPs going against each other. I'm picking the Ravens because I like their defense, and I don't like the way Eckler ran all over the Chiefs. I think with the Ravens' run game, they're going to take it, but it will be a close game and a really high-scoring, fun game to watch on Monday night.
Yeah, I think this is by far the best game of the week. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs in a shootout. I think they win 38-34. I don't think either of these defenses can contain each other's offenses. I think both the offenses are absolutely great. But I'm going to ride with Mahomes and the Chiefs on this one. They didn't look too great last week against the Chargers, but I think they'll bounce back this week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not much to bounce back from. Both teams are 2-0. They're probably two of the best teams in the NFL. And we're going to see them play on primetime football, ESPN, Monday Night Football. And it's going to be very good. I'm loving what I've seen from both teams. And even though what you said about Austin Eckler running all over, the Ravens have a little bit more of a running back by committee type of system going on, even though just any running back can pop off for them. So it can go either way. This is a very tough game to pick. But obviously, Chiefs are probably more than likely favored, and I chose them. And so anything else you guys want to mention about week 2 or possibly week 3? The floor is open.
I think Thursday Night Football, you got a great matchup between the beard and the mustache. I mean, how could you not love that matchup?
Yeah, Fitzmagic and Minshew Mania are kicking off week 3 of NFL football. Dolphins at the Jaguars. Me and Chris may or may not go to the game. We're going to discuss that later. But if we do go, you guys will see something interesting about that of us. All right? Anything else, Bryce? Chris?
Yeah, that Thursday night game is definitely the most uninteresting football game I think I'll ever watch, because I could care less about two teams, but I'm so intrigued by Fitzmagic and Minshew Mania that I have to watch. I mean, it kind of takes me back to the days of the Knicks and Lynn Sanity. I mean, the Knicks were going to suck, but then again, you'd wanted to watch Jeremy Lin go and ball out. So it's two non-playoff teams, but it's going to be must-see TV because of the personalities that are starring in it. So, yeah, I can't wait for it, honestly. And I'm not a fan of either team. But, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. Real quick, just want to thank everybody for watching on Game Picker. Give a shout-out to those guys for featuring us on their website.
Yeah, week 3, I'm excited. I can't believe Primetime Thursday has 2 of the worst teams playing, but it is must-see TV. I'm super excited for Monday. Don't talk to me after 8 o'clock p.m. That game's going to be awesome. Shout out to Game Picker, and like, subscribe, leave comments. Tell us if you agree, disagree, and bear down, as always. Let's go.
Bear down.
Also, real quick, I just want to point out that Ryan Tannehill has 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions and is a underrated MVP candidate at this point. If Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers weren't so great, Ryan Tannehill would be in the MVP conversation. So I just want to point that out there, that if you want to make a bet for a long shot to win MVP, put your money on Ryan Tannehill right now, because he's going to keep balling at this rate and put up MVP numbers.
Old statement from the Titans fan. Well, me and Eddie know the real Ryan Tannehill, so you'll get to know him pretty soon. Nah, Ryan Tannehill's a good guy, but his MVP status could be possible with the Titans. A lot better system around them there. But, yeah, guys, thanks for joining me on this week's Game Picks. Yeah, like you guys said, shout out to NFL Game Picker. If you're watching there, thanks for watching. And if you haven't gone there yet, check it out. It's a great site. That's what we're using to make all of our game picks. So I hope you guys can use it too and enjoy it and have fun with all your friends. So with all that being said, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you guys think about our game picks. And not only that, fins up, I guess, Thursday Night Football. Most interesting matchup, most uninteresting matchup. It's definitely the quarterbacks, honestly. It's the Fitzmagic and Minshew Mania. It's going to be very interesting to watch. So hopefully me and Chris can go. We'll see. We'll check it out in a bit. But talk to you guys later. See you next week.
Peace.
Peace, guys.